Dear seekers, there are moments in spiritual history that don't just mark the transformation of a man. They ignite a fire in the hearts of millions. One such moment happened in the life of a 16-year-old boy in a quiet corner of Madurai, South India. You may know him today as Ramana Maharshi. But who was he then? Just a typical boy. He played, ate, went to school, and perhaps like many of us, he hadn't asked life's deeper questions. The mystery of death and the meaning of life were not on his mind. And yet, life had a plan. Or, shall we say, death did. One afternoon, out of nowhere, a sudden, inexplicable fear gripped him. A fear so primal, so total, that it brought him to the edge of himself. It wasn't a minor worry or a passing panic. It was the cold, absolute fear of death. Now pause here, dear seekers. Most people, when death knocks at the door of their imagination, they run towards distraction, noise, or comfort. But this boy didn't run. Instead, he did something unimaginable. He lay down on the floor of his uncle's house, stiff like a corpse, silent like a monk, eyes closed, breath slowed. He asked himself, "What is this death? What is it that dies? Let me watch it happen. Let me watch it happen." And in that radical stillness, in that utter aloneness, something shattered and something eternal opened. He realized, I am not this body. This body may die, but I, the one aware of the body, do not die. The witness remains. The awareness is untouched. And just like that, in a flash of intuitive clarity that would take sages' lifetimes to arrive at, the ego collapsed and the infinite self, his true nature, shone in full blaze. No rituals, no scriptures, no teacher, just the terror of death and the courage to look directly into it. Dear seekers, let this shake you awake. Ramana did not get enlightened in the Himalayas. He wasn't in an ashram. He hadn't read the Upanishads. There was no guru whispering mantras into his ears. There was only fear and a burning curiosity to meet it fully. And what was born from that fearless gaze? The divine, infinite, conscious being. That 16-year-old never came back. What returned from that floor was no longer a person in the usual sense. It was silence wearing a human face. It was presence radiating from every pore. He had died, and yet he was more alive than ever before. And you know what's more shocking? He never considered this some extraordinary miracle. To him, this realization was your birthright too. He said simply, "You are the self. You are that which never dies. You only imagine that you are the body and the mind." So I ask you today, not as a listener of spiritual talks, but as one standing before the same door, have you ever truly looked at your own fear of death, not read about it, not talked about it, but sat with it still, open, alone? What if, like Ramana, your fear is not an enemy, but the gatekeeper to eternity? What if death is not the end, but the beginning of your awakening? Not physical death, no, but the death of the ego, the death of the lie that says you are limited, small, separate. What if right now you dare to die to every false identity, every mental story, every anxious grasping? What if this very moment you surrendered completely into the mystery and found, in the place of fear, the infinite, unshakable silence that you are? Ramana's enlightenment is not a myth. It is a mirror of your true nature beyond these temporary forms of body and mind. It's a reminder of your divine, conscious, infinite nature. So you need to stop running from the fear of the death, or from any fear for that matter, and start looking into them with courageous, divine eyes. So remember, death scared him, and he got enlightened. What about you? Will you keep running, or will you stop, lie down, and awaken? The choice is not in the sky. The choice is not in the future. The choice is now, and now is eternal. To begin this journey yourself, find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed for 10 to 15 minutes. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Gently bring to mind the idea of your own mortality, not to dwell on it with anxiety, but to observe it with a calm, curious gaze. Ask yourself, what is it that fears death? Is it my body, my thoughts, or something deeper? Watch whatever sensations or emotions arise without trying to change them. Simply witness. Then, shift your attention from the changing experiences to the pure awareness that observes them. Rest in that awareness. Let the question arise naturally, who am I beyond this body and mind? Practice this daily, even for a few minutes, and you will find yourself slowly cultivating the same courage Ramana showed. The courage to face fear, to transcend it, and to glimpse the eternal self that has always been shining at the center of your being. The path is open, the invitation is alive, and the silence of Ramana still calls you home.